Welcome back, everybody. This is Ruthie at Tell Us. And today, guess who's sharing the stage with me? None other than Jennifer Betances. She's been cooking all her life. She's the sister of world-renowned Mr. Worldwide, known as Pitbull, Mr. Armando Christian Perez. And she loves to cook and create. Jennifer, are you with us?
I'm here, Ruthie. Thank you for inviting me.
Welcome to syndicatednews.net. The big news is not just that she's here, but that Jennifer Betances joins syndicatednews.net today.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure and an honor. I appreciate it.
With her producer, Jean Michael Betances. Let's talk about cooking. Where'd you get your passion?
Yeah, I grew up in a Cuban home, and one of our main loves is food, music, family. But food really was the one thing that I was able to take, and it just became something that was a passion for me. I learned a lot from my tia, who was a stay-home mom, and every morning she would prepare dishes for us, and just the love that she put into them, it made me want to be able to create the same thing. So I spent my time growing up preparing meals, trying to be as good as she was, and now I share those recipes with my family.
So the next thing I want to tell everyone is that on Saturday afternoons, we're going to have Jenny's cooking video on the front page of syndicatednews.net every Saturday afternoon. Jennifer, Cuban with a twist, on Saturday afternoons at syndicatednews.net.
Good morning and welcome to Cuban with a Twist. Bienvenido a Cuban with a Twist. Hoy vamos a hacer costillas de rey, or baby back ribs in English. We're going to start with a great cut of the ribs, which I got from the butcher. You know, sometimes the dish is not just about the ingredients that you put in it, it's actually the stuff that you start with. A great piece of meat, take your time, choose it, go to a butcher. Best butchers are the ones that like their meat, they like good steak, they like a good pork chop. Those are the best butchers to go to. So we're going to start with the baby backs. They have been cleaned, peeled in the back. Okay, you can ask the butcher to do that for you. Seasoned with the rub. You want to start off with the dry rub. We're going to cover it with olive oil. And I'm using some Goya mojo. The Goya mojo has everything in it. It has lemon juice, orange juice, some seasoning in it, and we've covered that up. Now, I have already let this sit overnight in the refrigerator. You would want it to sit overnight, or at least 5 hours or so, okay? The most important thing when you're making baby back ribs, I have found, is the time that it takes to make it. You want to use steam and slow and low temperatures in your oven, okay? I have a convection oven, so I have set mine at 400. I'm going to start it at 400, and I've filled a aluminum pan with water. And I'm going to use this aluminum pan that's filled with water as steam. It's going to steam the ribs for me. I'm going to let it sit there and cook for hours at a slow temperature, okay? 3 to 4 hours. You're going to check on it every half an hour or so, but we're going to go through that process together. Welcome back. It's been about half an hour or so. I've put that pan, the aluminum pan that we talked about in the beginning, with water. I've put it in the oven. I've let it sit for about half an hour, and now it's steaming up the oven, and that's really what you want. So now I'm going to put the ribs in. I'm just going to place them on top over the steaming pan, and I'm going to let it sit there. It's still at 400. Now remember, this is a process. Ribs are a process. If you want them to be moist and fall apart off the bone, you have to let it sit for a long time at a low temperature. So we're going to come back when it's time to flip the ribs. It's been about an hour and 20 minutes or so. We're going to take a look at what the ribs look like, see if we need to flip them or not. Okay, let's pull it out. I've dropped the temperature to 300, and that's what they look like so far. You want to take a little fork and just check how they're doing. Okay. See how it goes in easily, but it's still, you know, still a little bit tough. Okay. So we're going to flip them. Same for the other one. Rack over, down, goes into the juices. We're going to cover it with a little bit of parchment paper because I don't want it to get dried out. Put it back in. We'll check it again in about another hour. It's been again about another hour or 15 hours. So I know I said check it every 30 minutes. It really depends on the strength of your oven. I know mine can last a little bit longer, so I'm doing it about every hour, hour and 15. So let's take a look at where we got right now. It's nice and moist in here, which is really what we want to keep. We want to keep the moisture. Now you can see the little bone tips are starting to turn brown. So we're going to flip it over. And then we're going to check how the meat's going. We'll know it's ready when, see how it's starting to split apart? We know it's starting to get there. Okay? See how now it's easier for me to put my fork in? Okay, it's close, but not yet ready for the last bit of sauce. So we're going to put that up there again, put the parchment paper back on it, still keep it at the 300. Now, it's been about 35 minutes or so. Let's take a look at where they're at. Let the steam come out first. Take our paper off. All right, that is the color that we're looking for. It's got a golden brown, a little bit more cooked on the edges. You can see that. Now let's do the fork test. Oh, look at that. See how that comes up? Okay, what we're going to do now at this point is we are going to take some of the stock and we're going to put it in a cup. I'm going to mix that over here and I'm going to throw it in here. Let's get that up. We're going to take our ribs out. We're going to leave the oven running. Now, you can mix or use any barbecue sauce that you like. I do a little mixture. I take some regular smoked or honey barbecue sauce. I add a bit of vanilla. I add a bit of honey to taste. And then I always, at the end, add the stock of the ribs as a final touch. Okay? I've already put it all together. Again, I didn't show you this because, you know, you may not have the type of barbecue sauce that I have here, but everybody has their own preference. So I did add honey, vanilla, and the beef stock from the ribs. You want to have enough barbecue sauce to cover the ribs completely. The last 40 minutes or so that the ribs are in the oven, I cover them with the barbecue sauce, which is what we're going to be doing right now. Cover it completely, drench it. Okay? Alright. Then you use the fork, evenly coat it. Over here, just cover that a little bit. There you go. You want to be generous. You don't want the ribs at this point to dry out. So now I'm going to put it back in the oven with the steam. Now it's been about another hour, so the ribs are ready. We pulled them out. This is what they look like. And the way we are going to know if they're absolutely ready is the pull apart test. And there you go. We're going to plate them. Tears apart easily. Stacked. I want to do about 5 or 6 ribs per person. Well, we've plated the ribs. Here they are. And you know what's the best part about making ribs on a Sunday afternoon? Sharing them with your family and friends. Thank you so much for joining us on Cuban with a Twist at Twitter and our Facebook, and hope to see you soon.